Hey there, I'm Shane Seeley, and welcome to Final Score, our weekly sports show where we will talk about the headlines and the newsmakers of the week. Tonight, an initiative by Cricket West Indies to have two different senior men's coaches, one for tests and one for limited overs. Can that work? And if so, how well? We'll take a look at that. Also, Shane Darwich, he finds some form with an unbeaten century, at least in the first innings, in the Regional 4-Day Championship. What does that mean for his future in West Indies cricket? And the BASA has named its swimming team for the upcoming 2023 Carifta Games. Are they ready to take on the region? It's a big 32-member squad. Can they take the challenge and look for the title yet again? But first, let's talk some Windies cricket. Cricket West Indies has announced that the role of head coach for the West Indies senior men's teams will be split into two separate positions. Recruitment for both head coach roles has already started for red ball head coach for the Tests and A-team cricket, as well as that white ball head coach for one-day internationals and T20 international cricket. Jimmy Adams, CWI's Director of Cricket, says the increased frequency of back-to-back multi-format tours combined with specific demands of the respective formats no longer provides enough time for one individual to adequately plan or prepare and review across bilateral series and franchise itineraries that are so condensed. Joining us live to analyze this decision is former Barbados and West Indies cricketer Philo Wallace, back with us tonight. And of course, our viewers can make your contributions as well and ask your questions to Philo via social media. The WhatsApp number is 228-5562, while our Facebook handles are CBC Barbados or cbcnews.bb. You can also call us live if you're bold enough. 228-5562 is the number, because this cricket talk will be hot. Good night, Philo. Good to have you back with us on Final Score. So Jimmy Adams is saying the time has come to do like what some other teams have done. Of course, we know what England, and I have to say now the mighty England, because they're doing well, although they were just whitewashed by Bangladesh, but that's another story for another time. But they're going that route of choosing a coach or a horse for courses. You're going to have your test coach, your red ball coach, and then you're going to have your white ball coach. Do you think that this approach is one that the West Indies team needs, and can it work?
Good night, Shane. Thanks for having me yet again. I think it's the way in which the international teams are going, where they have the white ball coach and a red ball coach. I think it can work for Cricket West Indies. I like the idea of the test coach working with the A team. I think because the A team is the next level down and the next level up to test match cricket. So that person, that coach, he'll be involved in developing the A team players to bring them up to test match level, which he is to supervise as well. When you look at the Indian side, you've got Rahul Dravid, who's worked his way from the under-19s to India A right now into the senior side. So he's working with players that he's worked with at the junior level. I think the white ball coach as well is going to be important, because we have almost two different squads. Some members cross over, only about 3 out of the test team will play in all formats, and we need to have those players who are the white ball specialists, as they call them, to be more in contact with the coach. If you look at it, if you have the red ball coach, one coach doing red ball or white ball, if the guys in the white ball setup wants to speak to that coach, it's going to be a little difficult, because he's more focusing on test match cricket. So I think the idea can work, but it also can work if they get the right persons, meaning the right red ball coach and the right white ball coach to appoint in these very crucial positions for Cricket West Indies. We know that we're double world T20 champions, and we struggle in that format now. Obviously in the 50 over format as well. So we need a coach who can come in and show us how to solidify our T20 squad and our cricket, and also the ODI cricket. Test match cricket, I believe, is a specialist as well, and we need that as well. What we saw in South Africa, certainly we may see more problems with our test match squad. So I think when the coaches are really in position, they can zone in on what they want to do and how to approach it, the various formats.
I think the test match cricket has improved. The white ball format has been, the form has been declining for the last few years, especially on the T20 side. Surprising to see it decline so far. In terms of working with these two teams, and I'm going to put you on the spot now, who do you think could be those persons for the red ball first and then the white ball? We know that we have an interim coach right now, but who do you think can take up that red ball mantle first?
Well, the red ball mantle, it all depends. We have a new president soon to be in West Indies cricket, and we had the last administration saying West Indies first. The coach should come to the West Indies. Don't know what the policy will be under the new president, and we have to wait and see. We saw some videos. There are a lot of guys in the world cricket now. All depends on the applications that they get. You see, Justin Langer, he might be available, to come to the fore to help us. But we see now Mickey Arthur was part of a three-man committee. He's at Derbyshire, but you never know what can happen. He might be going down to Pakistan. There's nothing concrete. So there are a lot of guys who I believe if they put their application in and Cricket West Indies do their due diligence, I think we can find the right red ball coach. You might even be in a region as well. When you look at our white ball squads as well, you have Darren Sami in Pakistan who's doing well down there. He can be a candidate for a white ball squad. So there are a number of people, but it all depends on who the applicants, those people who really want to come to the Caribbean or who in the Caribbean and want to take up the role as coach in West Indies test squads and ODI squads and T20.
Do you think it could be a situation, though, where there's a potential for two coaches to butt heads and probably get in each other's way? Because this is something that the West Indies have not really gone in the realm of before.
Well, it's going to be important planning, because if you have two different coaches and they're butting heads, there's going to be problems. We saw England with a similar situation where they had to send a squad to Bangladesh, not a full squad, because a number of their players went off and played in the various franchises, and some of the guys were in New Zealand. So those things can happen. But we need to understand that if you're coaching a white ball squad, you need to be in contact with the test coach to let him know that they will know what is going on and who players they're looking at. So communicating have to be very important among the coaches, because that's part of Cricket West Indies' downfall. There's not a lot of communicating from what I see. You're always hearing things by the wayside. You need to get things up front on how these players and how you're looking to prepare these players for the various formats. We only have 3 players at present who plays across the 3 formats. So I can't see massive problems in relation to butting heads. But just in case the pool spreads, because we don't know what is going to happen down the road, then you have to have very good planning. And also, Shane, you have to look at the guys who are looking at who plays the franchise cricket. You have to consider them as well as part of West Indies setup, unless they say, look, we are no longer interested in West Indies cricket. But they too have to be considered. And this is where the coach and the lead selector and even the captain will come into play and have those very meaningful discussions with those guys. Yeah, because we need the best players to represent us now.
Well, let's take a quick drinks break here and come back to the crease with your questions and comments on the future of West Indies cricket. We'll be right back. So we're back on Final Score with your questions and some comments for Philo Wallace on the proposed coaching setup for West Indies men's cricket and the future as well. And we're going to look at some regional cricket as well. Some interesting things happening there. Barbados losing inside 3 days after gaining first innings points with 100 from Shane Dowrich back in the runs again. So we'll talk a bit about that. But let's look at some of these questions. Philo, as far as West Indies cricket goes, the platform for it, where the breeding ground for that test team is the regional 4-day cricket. And we've been seeing some up and down performances from some of those who should be in the runs. Shane Dowrich is one of them. He got a good 100 there in this match against the Leewards, but they ended up losing with a second innings 100 from Kiran Powell, who is also back in the runs as well. So the question is, and you see on screen here, should he play as a mentor for Barbados and forget about Test cricket now?
No, I don't think he should play as a mentor for Barbados at all. I spoke to Shane Dowrich when I was in Barbados last year. He wants to play for West Indies. I'm happy for him that he got 100. Congratulations to him. Unfortunately, Barbados lost that game to the Leewards. But I think Shane Dowrich still has a future in West Indies cricket. And I hope that he can build on that 100. Forget what happened in the second innings, although we got bowled over 78. But look to build on that 100 and move to the next game. He has the capability to score hundreds. He's just shown it. And I just think that he needs to just continue that vein. And once he performs, he's going to put pressure on Joshua Da Silva. And, they don't know what is going to happen. Joshua Da Silva is not invincible. I think that Shane is a good cricketer. He's been there before. And I think he should continue to play for Barbados and do well and look to get back into West Indies cricket. As for Powell, I'm happy for him. Mm-hmm. I think that he got unfared. I thought that against South Africa last year, the region, he started to look good. And when they went to Sri Lanka, they didn't take him. I thought he should have gone to Sri Lanka as Craig Bradford's opening partner. He's worked really hard here in England with his game. And I was happy for him today because I met him on many occasions in London. And he's a good guy and he wants to do well. And I'm really happy for him. And I hope that he can go from strength to strength and continue to knock at that door for West Indies cricket. Because once you perform, the selectors will obviously recognize you and hopefully he'll get in.
Another question coming from WhatsApp. Does Cricket West Indies really think that the one coach format was the problem with what we are seeing across the formats?
I think that when you listen to what the director of cricket is saying is that the one coach system was a bit too much for one coach. Having to deal with test match cricket and then having to deal with white ball cricket, the ODIs and the T20s is a lot of work for one coach. If you look at around the world, a lot of the international teams have decided to split their coaches, give the coach a little break and get the one coach to focus on one specific type of cricket, while the other coach have the opportunity to focus on another specific type of cricket. So I think that the one coach was too much, and Cricket West Indies have come to the understanding and realization, look, we need to split this job up and give people the opportunities to really spread their wings and showcase what they can do at different times and in different formats. I thought Simmons had too much on his plate. And he just was not dealing with it well. And you realize if one coach and he's not doing well in red ball cricket, the domino effect is into the white ball.
Right. So what about this option, as we're seeing on screen here? Have one head coach with two assistant coaches on either side reporting to him?
Yes, a good idea. But then the head coach will also have to be traveling as well to supervise the two assistants coaches. So when you look at it, you still have one head coach, but the two assistant coaches, and the head coach is the one that will obviously distributing all the information. So you're still back to one person, although you have two assistant coaches, because you're not going to send the assistant coach on a away tour without somebody as his head coach or somebody as an assistant coach. So you could well have the two-tier system. Let there be one head coach for the white ball, one red ball, one head coach for the red ball, and they report to the director of cricket. I think we have to understand the director of cricket has a crucial role in when it comes to Cricket West Indies and these coaches. He's very, very important to bridging that gap.
You have a comment there about Barbados, like the West Indies, losing inside 3 days. Well, what can we say?
We got bowled out for 78 in our second innings, and I thought that we panicked. I watched the game, and I couldn't believe Devon Thomas picking up 5 wickets. I just couldn't believe it. This man was a wicketkeeper. Now he turned medium pacer, and he's bowling. He had 5 wickets. That is not right. It's that something is wrong there. The batters did not apply themselves, and we got roll over. Obviously, Cornwall is a massive threat. I thought that our batters were very timid to Cornwall, and those who went for him still went in a timid format, and he was all over us like white on rice. And to me, the key is that when you're playing the levers, that you need to play the levers quietly, because the levers are very aggressive and they'll come at you all the time. You need to play them quietly, focus on what you have to do as a team, and then look to beat them. But they reverse the tables on us and we lost. We have to pick the pieces up and come better in the next game. Luckily for us, all of our games are going to be in Trinidad and Tobago.
Did you need two coaches in your day, Philo?
No, I didn't need two coaches. I had Mr. Hitler Downs when I was at Montgomery. I had a guy named Mr. Nurse, but I went to Eden Lodge. I had Irvin Harris at LSE Secondary. I think the problem with the modern day cricketer is that they don't communicate well. If you talk to them about cricket, they tell you that it's old-time cricket. They don't sit down and listen to you. They do it their way. And their way is not productive. We had coaches who would instill certain disciplines in us, and we used to adhere. We had Sir Charles Griffith, and just now we had the late Seymour Nurse. All these guys coach us through our years, and there were no problems. We had Ricky Skeet, all of them. There was always one coach. We had a head against Martin, Mr. Harris, the National Sports Council, the coach, and we used to go down and practice our meaning, understand our strengths and our weaknesses, and come on weekends and play cricket with love and meaning and doing well. And I find that our modern day players seem not to have the love for the game. They talk about it, but you don't see it. I don't see any fun. Nobody don't laugh anymore. Everybody is serious and picking. Cricket is about enjoyment. And I think that when you do things happy, you do things better.
I think there's a different culture of cricket now than in those days, but we really hope it turns around for the best. The two coaches are the way the West Indies CWI is going, and we are going to wish them all the best because we all want to see West Indies cricket do better. Philo, is always, I always appreciate your commentary and your time here with us on Final Score. You stay safe until the next time we have a heated debate about improving West Indies cricket.
Thank you very much. All the very best.
Thank you so much. Well, after the break, we jump into the pool. We dive in and get some swimming in the house. And joining us will be the head coach of the national Carifta team, Dave Farmer. Okay, back on Final Score, and we're going to talk about swimming as the Barbados national swim team has been chosen for the 36th Carifta Swimming Championship scheduled for April 6th to the 12th in Curacao. Well, Barbados will be carrying a team consisting of 33 swimmers across three age groups, the 11 to 12, the 13 to 14, and 15 to 17. The team was selected with the view of facilitating strong individual and relay performances. The best person to determine if these selections have reached these goals is the head coach and BOA Coach of the Year for 2022, Dave Farmer. Welcome, Dave. Good to have you with us on Final Score. So sometimes we hear that teams leaving these shores are mostly for developmental purposes, but the Islands Junior swimmers have that distinction of actually winning at Carifta Championships outright in the past. What type of team is heading to Curacao this time around?
Good night, and thank you for the invitation to take part in the show. Our Carifta team this year is, I would say, a bit of a mix. We have very seasoned campaigners and strong swimmers, but we are also in the process right now of trying to grow the sport, and we have taken that step to use Carifta as a means also of developing our swimmers and trying to get more of the swimmers working at this level. So at this point in time, I'd say it's a bit of a mix, but we are obviously very focused on the performance aspect.
Well, speaking about performers, last year you had some outstanding ones like Jaya Simmons. She won 8 Carifta gold medals and 3 more gold medals at CC Can in girls 11 to 12 age group. She's now in the 13 to 14, so she's making that transition. What do you expect from her this time around?
Well, yes, Jaya has moved into the next age group. She has improved considerably, however, since last Carifta and since CC
Good.
Can. She is definitely on the up and up. She's 13 in the 13 to 14 age group, and that means that you're up against persons who are virtually 1 year older and stronger. However, she is carrying good form, and her times at this point are very encouraging. So I would imagine that she is still a candidate for medals, even first year in the age group. She may not necessarily win 8 goals this time, but she certainly could make herself well known and then take it into next year when she could win 8 more.
Well, we are wishing her all the best for sure. The 11 to 12 and that 13 to 14 boys teams, they're relatively small when you look at them in comparison to the others. Are you concerned with the development of boys swimming in the BASA program?
Yes, we definitely need a couple more young boys in this program. Obviously, we find that times have changed and are still changing. Some of the young guys are they're playing football, they're playing basketball, and swimming is a very demanding sport. I'm not saying that the others in football and track, etc., are not undergoing demands as well, but we are finding that the it's a bit of a challenge to find the guys who will want to work and are willing to put in that level of work. We seem to be finding more of that in the girls section, and we had more success in the girls last year than we did with the boys. So we're hoping that this year the boys will step up to the block, so to speak, and that we can improve on our performance. We did very well last year, and I'm looking that we would do just about as well. Sometimes you want to measure performance in medals only, but I would say that in some cases you're also looking at the maturity level and the developing the experience level of the swimmers as they go through the 11 to 12 through to 15, 17. It's an age group program. You spend 2 years in each of the first two age groups, and then at 15 you go into the 15 to 17 age group, and then after that you're virtually in senior swimming. And even in your last year of 15 to 17, you're pretty much moving into university and senior swimming. And some of our top 17-year-olds will be moving off this year to go into a university program. That means that we will have them available then for senior swimming, but it brings them to the end of their Carifta journey.
Well, a question coming in there from WhatsApp. After BASA Cup 3 prizes at the BOA Awards, we're expecting a lot from them at Carifta. Your thoughts?
Yes, I think we will perform well. It depends on obviously on a lot of other variables which we now have to work with. We have swimmers moving into a new age group. We have new swimmers coming into the 11 to 12 age group as 11-year-olds. So they are obviously going to be not necessarily thrown to the sharks, but at the same time, it's first year in 11 to 12 is a learning experience.
Right.
And as long as you understand that and you work with it, then you are that better off for your second year, where you have gained experience and are now maturing and developing as a swimmer. Barbados is going for gold in many events. I do not believe that we would necessarily win the title. It's very difficult to win the Carifta title because as a small country with a very small group of swimmers, we are competing against larger countries with a larger pool of swimmers. Traditionally, the top performers at Carifta have been the Bahamas, Jamaica, and Cayman. These three will still be present in large numbers, and I think the Bahamas has signaled that they would like to win this this tournament for the sixth time. However, we can say at this point in time that we are going to do everything possible to get in their way and be an obstacle and to prevent them from gaining all of the glory. We do have some swimmers who I think are going to show themselves to be good performers, strong performers, and we're looking for good performances. Yes,
and when
we
you
do
speak
have our
about those
youngsters.
performances, sorry to cut you there. Another question popping up. You see any future Olympians in that squad? Anyone that really stands out for you?
Yes, I do. Um, I am reluctant sometimes to name people as future Olympians simply because I don't want to put the pressure. It's easy to put undue pressure on a competitor by calling them a future Olympian. Yes, you're certainly paying them a compliment, and I think those future Olympians are beginning to realize who they possibly could be. We have a large, let's put it this way. We
Right.
have a group of swimmers who, if they apply themselves well over the next 4 years, and if they follow a strong coaching program, and if they look after themselves well in terms of nutrition and strength training, and they go through the proper development program, we probably have about 6 Olympians in this particular squad. But we could look at them and say, well, if they really perform to potential, they could be Olympians one day.
Yeah.
However, as they go from 12 to 18, they go through different stages, and for some of them, the journey to an Olympics may be not what they necessarily had in mind, even though we may look at them and say there's a potential Olympian. Yes, we have about 6 in this squad, but we now need to work with them and show them the way over a 5 to 6 year program, that the Olympics is not just something you dream about. It's a possibility.
Yeah, and it's a lot of hard work too. And I know, Dave, you'll be behind the swimmers, diving behind them for sure and trying to get them to that standard. And we're looking forward to this Carifta Games, and we hope that not only that it will be that developmental process that BASA is looking for to help develop the youngsters from one stage to the next, but to really push them to that Olympiad status. We really want to thank you, Dave, for spending some time with us.
Sure.
And we're wishing you all the best on this tour to Curacao.
Thank you very much, and we will keep in touch.
Appreciate your time. Well, we will be back right here on Final Score for the Final 60.
That's it? Okay.
Some real sporting treats for you in this final 60. Zayn Maloney, he'll be competing tomorrow in the second round of the Formula 2 season. That's in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. So you can look out for that, and we'll have some highlights for you in CBC News Night tomorrow as well. The second ODI between the Windies and host South Africa, that starts at 7 a.m. There's more night horse racing tomorrow at the Garrison with the Michael Parvicina Hopeful Race Day. Post time is 3 in the afternoon. Division 1 netball, that's back at the Netball Stadium. Pride Villa versus Rangers at 7. And basketball season continues this weekend with the continuation of the President's Cup on Sunday. A triple header at the BCC Gym that starts at 3 p.m. That's a wrap for this week and this edition of Final Score. I'm Shane Seeley. I'll see you next Friday for another interesting and exciting show here on CBC TV 8.